And welcome back, everybody. Welcome to World Team League 2022 Winter Code S Round 6, Day 1. I'm, of course, your host, Light VIP. With me, handling the production, is, of course, the lovely Kuro. And also with me as my co-caster, I have the one, the only, the AsherBro.
Hello. Hello, hello.
Hello.
And Rufus. You have Rufus too.
Oh, we have Rufus. Rufio. I can tell Rufus is very excited about today's games.
Yeah, he looks pretty tired. I think he's ready to go to bed. Whoa.
Okay, be careful, Rufus. He's majestic, but also incredibly menacing.
Yes. Terrifying.
Terrifying. But yes, we're here and we are first diving into Invictus Gaming versus Team GP. We just had a quick look at the roster for IG. Now we're having a gander over at Team GP as well. Team GP, a team that I believe has yet to field Ryung, or they've been really tentative about fielding him. More often than not, we have the other players instead.
Yeah, they have a decent roster, so a bit of depth to the roster as well. So maybe just saving Ryung for once he's gotten past some of the other tournaments that he has. I'm not sure what he's been playing recently, but he has been doing quite well in various tournaments here and there. But yeah, I'd be quite excited to see him today. But yeah, once again, no Ryung.
No, I want my Terran, Papi. It's my favorite Terran, and I hope we get him at some point. But as we can see, we're gonna get some Coffee versus Prince, MacSed versus Cham, and XY versus Nightmare.
Yeah, we've got plenty of great matchups lined up for us. And first up will be my favorite substance. It is coffee.
Exactly. It's time to wake up, everyone. Get caffeinated because Coffee, the ace player of IG, is coming out. And he's going to be facing someone a little bit different, someone a little bit strange. It is Prince.
Oh, yeah. And Prince, we talked about it when we saw him going up against Beyond. He is someone who's happy to throw out some very weird, aggressive plays. He's one to even cannon rush from time to time. So will Coffee be the one getting woken up?
That's the thing, right? Like, now my question is, every time we cast Prince, are we going to bring up the fact that he cannon rushes in PvT?
Yes. We have to shame him.
That's just what he's known for now. Like, that's just who he is. You know, I'm sorry, buddy. We are the guy that cannon rushes. He's like, but I've done so much more in my career. Like, nah, nope. Mate.
Doesn't count for anything. You're a cannon rusher.
You're a cannon rusher. You're like Jade off how he's just mech. All he does is mech every game.
Every game. Especially for you.
Especially for me, Papi. Aye. So, Prince, in this best of 2, he's got 2 opportunities here to cannon rush, but I believe his cannon rushes are map specific, if I'm not mistaken, or does he just whip it out whenever?
I wouldn't be surprised if it was map specific. There's some maps on this pool that are definitely a lot better for it. I know Inside Out in particular is very, very good for it.
Yeah, and I can see that Rufus agrees. He's like, yeah, Inside Out.
Yes.
Terran map up.
They're all Terran maps. They get to the bugs before I can.
Smooch, Papi, smooch. I just want to eat some bugs. Yo, he's falling asleep on your lap, mate. Oh my god. Yeah. He's just nodding off.
He's a cat, man. That's what they do.
It's beautiful.
It's like a big lap warmer.
Yeah. You know what? He's saving his strength. He's saving his strength for the second series of the night. You know, he's waiting for the Ducklings before he wakes up. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, exactly. His favorite player is Vindicta.
Oh my god, he's waiting for his boy. Meanwhile, you know, it looks like we have a couple of hexagons being whipped out here. Apparently, we've got Coffee with the strategy and the mindset. He's red, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But here we are, straight into the game. In the bottom left-hand corner for IG, it is Coffee.
Oh, and in the top right-hand corner representing Team GP, it is Prince.
Here we go. Will there be a forge?
Unfortunately, I don't see a probe on the map. And I don't cannon rush. I don't know how to cannon rush, but I think
sure.
What do you mean?
You're like, I think it's got something to do with probes. I wouldn't really know.
I am pure when it comes to cannon rushing, okay? But alas, it looks like Prince is more concerned with scouting, less so with throwing cannons across the map. Unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. So just going to be playing a bit more of a standard game. I'm not shocked to see this. I think he will feel like he's the stronger player in this matchup and will be confident to just play a fairly standard game, maybe go for a bit of a sharp mid-game timing. I know he is more of an aggressively orientated player.
Oh yeah, definitely. And oh my god, I just realized something, and I think this is pretty smart actually. Maybe, I don't know. What are your thoughts? The player jersey here from Prince, they actually have their player names on their shoulders.
That means that you can't get your jersey stolen if someone beats you in a game. Got your name on it.
What do you say? That's not what I mean. That's not what I meant. I meant because all jerseys have names on them, but because it's in the on the shoulder, it means that when he's on cam, it's actually picked up by the webcam. Like you can see it, like as a viewer.
Yeah.
Like you know, in case you didn't know, that's Prince.
Yeah. So if someone steals his jersey and they're on camera, it'll just say Prince, and they'll be like, I know what happened here.
Yeah. If you see someone else wearing that jersey and you see the name Prince there and it doesn't correlate with that face, you know who stole it.
It's an imposter.
Yeah. Maru.
Maru comes onto screen. He's got like 17 jerseys all stacked on top of each other.
Oh my god. Regardless, we do see Coffee. I believe he did end up walling off with his depots, as we have seen a couple of players do before. But if I'm not mistaken, it was a single gas opener, which is why we have that CC on. Or was it a double gas opener? I was distracted by Prince's shoulder.
I missed it. Yeah. I was distracted by you telling me about Prince's shoulder.
Oh god! Look, it's a nice shoulder. Okay, it's a nice shoulder.
Yeah, well, whatever you're into, right? As we do have the scout coming into the base here, he's going to be seeing that Twilight Council sees it to researching as well. So looks like a blink build coming out from Prince after making a couple of adepts, which is a little bit unusual, but we do see some extra gateways going down as well. Just going to be going 3 gates with the Robos, the very standard very, very standard build against a 2 gas opener. Oh, yeah, I'll get through that sentence eventually.
Just stay with me, Poppy. Stay with me. Oh my god. I'm worried that you're going to be smudging from a ladder session before a cast, but now I should be worried about the Codge, mate. I don't know what it does to the people.
It just puts my brain on Ritalin. I'm all jumpy. I don't know what's going on, but I'm just gonna say stuff, you know.
Okay, fair. Oh no, maybe I should be worried. As we have a little bit of a
God.
As we do see a little bit of a drop coming into the main base here of Prince. Widowmine is going to be, or at least he did attempt to bait it out here with the probe. It looks like he will in the end. The Stalkers will be able to clean this up as well. Does get a pylon and 2 workers.
Saves the mine as well. Really nice micro coming out from Coffee. Very good attention to detail there. I was just gonna say I'm not gonna repeat the stuff that I hear in the COD lobbies.
Oh god. Do you usually repeat the stuff? Are you the one in the COD lobby?
No.
Okay.
I yell at people, but I don't say the things that they say.
Oh no.
As we do have a Liberator coming out from Coffee as well, so he's going to be putting on a little bit of extra pressure as he starts to macro up at home. So this Liberator can be really annoying, especially against the kind of build that Prince is going for, where he wants to start sending his Stalkers across the map, but this will pin them back at home, or at least 2 of them.
Yeah, we'll see what the reaction from Prince is going to be once that Liberator does show up. Meanwhile, the War Prism is going across map again. We are committed, or in the sense that he wants to deal some damage. He's going to have high ground vision to blink into the main base. Widowmine shot is going to go off, and also scout the positioning here of these Stalkers as the Liberator comes in.
Yeah, nicely placed Widowmine there. He's going to get the scout. Very quick reactions from Prince. He's going to pull, only losing 1 of those probes, but Coffee quite fast with the re-siege as well. But everything's going to be going down right now as the Stalkers will be gearing up to blink into the man.
Yeah, exactly. The tank is going to go down. Meanwhile, the War Prism did take a lot of hits, but it did survive in the end. We're going to have another warp in here into the main base. Without that tank, these Marines are struggling against these Stalkers.
Yeah, Coffee, for whatever reason, missing quite a lot of his supply. There we go. Looks like there was a few Marines sitting down on the low ground there. Does manage to push away that Warp Prism, but he is losing a lot of units here. This tank is going to be pivotal for the defense, but already 20 SCVs going down.
Yeah, you can definitely argue that it's already worth it here for 20 SCVs, all those Marines, the tank as well. Meanwhile, across the map, it looks like the Liberator was able to deal some counter damage, 8 probes, not bad, but again, nowhere near enough to equalize.
Yeah, the Observer just pointing out there as well, the Liberator did in fact go down, so was eventually cleaned up, but getting those 8 kills not bad at all. Meanwhile, we see this jump straight onto that tank. One of them's going to be going down, a few Stalkers going down as well, so a little bit clumsy, I guess, from Prince. Yeah, Kellen's clumsy. Yeah. He's going to be losing quite a few of those Stalkers, but he's far enough ahead that it doesn't really matter too much. And, yeah, losing a few more there. I think I am a tiny bit behind you.
Yeah, exactly. Just a little bit clumsy, a little bit careless with that control. But at the same time, because he keeps resetting the tank count, I don't know if Coffee is really too keen on moving out. We did see him actually sigh on the camera for a moment there as well. I think he recognized that he's kind of stuck here on 2 bases. And even though Prince has been losing a couple of Stalkers here, again, he still has the map control, and he is free to take that base and to even take up.
Yeah, these Stalkers are going to be able to catch any kind of move out that comes his way. Might even be able to pick off a tank here and there if Coffee's not too careful. So Coffee just loading up the 1 drop is going to be able to send out a little bit of non-committed harassment. But at the same time, he is going to be kept from taking that 3rd. And yeah, Prince senses something, is trying to sneak out.
Oh, yeah, exactly. But it looks like his Stalkers barely do miss that drop. So this is definitely a way for Coffee to come back in this game to somehow equalize if he catches if he catches Prince with his pants down, doesn't have a warp in back at home. There's definitely potential here for this drop.
Light, is that way you don't wear pants so that you can't be caught with your pants down?
Oh, you know my secret. He knows, Poppy. He knows. As Coffee's going to be moving out again, distracting Prince here. At the same time, he does drop into the main base, forces a recall.
Yeah, recall goes down, but not before 5 of those probes get taken out. And we're seeing a move out coming out from Coffee, just 3 of those tanks, but not really too much in the way of bio. And the medevacs will just be rallying over to help out. But yeah, this is a pretty desperate move out at this time.
Yeah, with how desperate it is, I'm honestly a little bit surprised they didn't pull the boys with this, right? Just because of how all in he is. He is down 20 workers. He's down a base. He's down in almost every other way he goes for the scan. There is only 1 Colossus with this army, but oh god, that is such a far back siege.
Yeah, Coffee has to be really careful here. He does have a small window before Thermal Lance sets up where he can start to crawl these tanks forward. If he can find himself in an annoying position with these tanks where he can start sieging at the shield battery, sieging on the Robo, he could get a lot of damage done, but this second Colossus... Oh my god, that is so close to another... Yeah, the pylon finishes up. The Colossus is going to come out in the end. The tanks were a little bit unsieged for a moment there, slowly leapfrogging forward. Coffee still has a lot of his army, but the charge shots are coming in. Yeah, Big Blink going to take out one of those tanks immediately. Second tank going down, and that means there is just nothing to contest these Colossus.
Yeah, the entire army gets cleaned up. The Colossus stands strong. Coffee is forced back, and again, he was all in. He had to do more than what he did. He had to deal somehow some economic damage or get on top of the production or something, and now he's just on the back foot.
Yeah, he's going to unload on this high ground here, but hasn't been able to take his 3rd as of yet, so really does find himself pretty far behind as Prince, getting that Twilight Archive, starting to look to get a 4th as well, is gearing up to extend his lead.
Yeah, you know, as you say, as Tasteless says, he's getting further and further ahead. Meanwhile, Coffee, I mean, shout out to Coffee because, like, he's still, like, is undeterred. He's still just pumping out whatever he can. He actually started +1 attack as well. If he really needed to, I guess he could lift up his main and try and take a 3rd or something along those lines. You know, still very tenacious.
Yeah, just going to be sending out these Marine spotters just to try to get eyes on this army. But for Prince, there's really no reason for him to push out. He's so far ahead. He doesn't need to throw that away with a wasteful push. Coffee just so far behind on the workers at the moment. And he does spot this 4th base. And I wouldn't be too surprised if we see him trying to find a timing because of that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he is going to finish up +1 in a couple of moments here. You okay?
He just focused down the lobster thing. He actually focus fired it.
Look. He needs some kind of win right now, okay?
It's like if I can't kill the Zealot, I'm going to kill the map critters. So there.
Does that actually add a kill to the unit? Is that?
I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
That's a question. I was going to say it's a good question, but
it's really not. It's a useless fun fact. As the boys are being pulled, but the boys do get intercepted by the main army in the middle of the map. Fighting here in the open, maybe the best case scenario. The Vikings are going hand. They take down the Prism.
Yeah, he heard you. He pulled the boys, but there is just not enough Marines here to deal with the Zealots. We do see the Vikings doing some really good work. They are taking down all of those Colossus, but there's just not enough left here. And GG.
GG gets caught. Prince proving to us all that this man doesn't have to cannon rush to bring down a Terran.
Not at all, and very commanding play throughout that game. Did such a good job shutting down all the little harassers of Coffee. Coffee definitely having some success here and there, but yeah, Prince looked pretty. Prince looked in control for a lot of that one.
Oh yeah, he really did. There were a couple of moments here and there where, maybe Coffee's drop was doing a little bit of damage, he was able to get some scouting information in the middle of the map, but things did kind of escalate very quickly once Prince, had his Blink Stalkers in the main base of Coffee. Things just kind of unraveled, and yeah, very solid play from Prince.
Yeah, nicely done. Mm-hmm. But we do have, of course, this best of 2 format, so Coffee can kind of, if he can get this win that does discount the efforts thus far, we'll tie things up, and we've got some pretty interesting matchups further down the line. I'm looking forward to MacSed versus Cham. Cham's been doing really, really well lately, so exciting to see him go up against someone who I would say is, if not around his level, just very slightly above. So definitely going to be an interesting game there, but we have this one ahead of us first as Coffee picks Waterfall.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I definitely do have something to say about MacSed versus Cham when we get there after this series. Of course, Coffee still has a chance to kind of bring this back, tie it up, and bring down the Prince himself, as his map choice is going to be Waterfall. What do you think about this map choice here in TVP?
Yeah, I definitely think it's a good map to go for 1 or 2 base all-ins. Very aggressive tank pushes can be really good here. Even going early into Vikings if you're up against Robo. So just because it's such a short map, you can get tanks set up in some really annoying positions in the middle of the map, and they're actually pretty useful from there.
They're always, what are you trying to say? They're always useful, Poppy. They're always useful. But yeah, I agree. Like, there's definitely opportunity for early aggression here from the Terran player. Likewise, though, we can say the same about Prince. I could be crazy. I could be misremembering, but I think I have seen him be a little bit cheesy here on this map in the past. But here we go in the top right-hand corner, representing Invictus Gaming. It's Coffee.
And spawning here in the bottom left-hand corner for Team GP, this is Prince.
Once again, no probe on the map.
Yeah, as you were referring to, there is a lot of possibility for aggressive potential here, and I was expecting maybe a bit of a proxy gateway. That's something that we do see a lot here.
Yeah, I was hoping for it as well, so a little bit of a shame, but you know what isn't a shame? Shout out to Doyu, Hojo, TGI Fridays, and NetEase, mate. Oh my god, without them, WTL just wouldn't be a thing. Shout out to the lovely observer, Rain, for that beautiful shot.
Yeah, we appreciate our sponsors, and the probe appreciates his sponsors, so the probe are going to be giving a little bit more screen time.
Yeah.
Those.
Yeah. Shout out to the probe. Actually did not step over the sponsors, only stepped over the WTL logo. You know, he knows where the money's coming from. It's all good. So yeah, very mannered probe.
Yeah, I agree. The Protoss have to be nice to the people where the money's come from. They have to make sure that they get their money when they win.
What are you insinuating? Oh my god. Am I crazy? Am I blind? That Nexus, it's centered, right? Yeah. Right?
Probably.
Yeah, okay. I think I'm blind. Don't worry about it. I think I was thrown off by the money.
The main Nexus is definitely centered.
I think you're right about that. I think you're right. I think your deductive reasoning skills have been still on point. Beautiful. They're sharp.
They are. There's something. As here, this Reaper is going to be jumping in, arriving very early, of course, on this smaller map. He's going to spot out that Adept, and we are seeing once again a second Adept coming out for Prince. So this normally I would expect to be a Stargate build or a DT build, but we did see last time he's happy to go into Blink off this.
Yeah, and as soon as you say that, we have that Twilight Council being thrown down here. Of course, there are other possibilities for the kind of tech he wants to go into, but we'll keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, Prince's probe so far has been able to evade the detection of this Reaper and has been able to find a nice hidden spot on the left-hand side of the map.
Yeah, we do have this probe kind of sneaking out, going for a cheeky spot. This could be for a proxy, could also be just keeping it safe before he wants to send it in and scout that natural. And I wouldn't mind him doing that because we don't have a natural for the Terran.
Yeah, look at that. There's no unnatural natural. There's there's just no natural. It's crazy. It's Coffee going for some one base play. 1-1-1 tank is already on the horizon. Oh boy, meanwhile that probe is going to be dipping on back in, is going to confirm that, again, there is no CC on the low ground.
Yeah, no natural, and this should set off alarm bells in Prince's head. Wouldn't be too surprised at all to see him throwing down some extra shield batteries in his natural here. Meanwhile, for Coffee, we are seeing he's going for a little bit of a tank drop build. This is something that I've seen him do on Moondance. So on this map, also a very small rush distance map, I think it does make sense.
Yeah, it definitely does make sense, as you were saying. Meanwhile, Prince, it looks like he does have alarm bells flaring. We do see a shield battery, one shield battery on the way at the natural. Looks like with these Adepts, he's going to confirm that the Marines are moving out. He also confirms the medevac as well. It is, of course, that one base all in. The tanks have been shown, and is one shield battery going to be enough?
Yeah, you do see Coffee kind of in two minds about whether he wants to chase down these Adepts through the tanks or get a bit of healing down on those Marines, but we do have the boys being pulled in as well, as we see a couple of those Adepts going down to the tanks there, so that does give a little bit of a lead to this attack, but that shield battery is extremely well positioned here.
Oh, exactly. Meanwhile, the overcharge is being popped. One Stalker is going to be going down, as well as another one of those Adepts as well. The tanks in range of that army, slowly leapfrogging forward here. Not too many boys were pulled, though.
Yeah, just enough to repair these tanks. Looks like 3 or 4. And this does give the option for Coffee to keep on reinforcing and just take his time with this.
Definitely. Meanwhile, we have 3 more shield batteries behind this army, as well as they're getting picked off one after the other. Gateway is a little bit under threat, which is a little bit worrisome. Thankfully, we do have 3 gates, so we still have a little bit of production. And in a couple of seconds, that Immortal, it pops.
Yeah, the Immortal comes out, but at the same time, this Liberator comes out, and if this Liberator can siege up on top of these Stalkers, it can dish out a lot of damage, but it is being focused down already, so it's just going to be able to pick away at these probes.
The repairs is not going to be enough. The Liberator goes down, the tank goes down, there are not enough Marines to protect this. The boys are here, and Prince cleans it up.
Yeah, Prince will take down that medevac. That takes out the rest of the micro potential of the army. GG is called, and a very nice hold coming out from Prince, and he's drinking the coffee.
We don't know if it's coffee, but
it's something. He's drinking the tea.
Oh my god, exactly. GG, well played. I love it. You know, Prince being prepared with a little bit of a ceremony, a little bit. Yeah, well played.
I have to say, it's been done before, though.
Sure.
Coffee, it's low-hanging fruit.
That's the thing, right? And even when it was done before, if you remember, it's always going to be stuck in my mind. When Solar, he went to the effort of getting a piece of paper and writing coffee.
Yeah.
To add to his Starbucks mug, you know, there was more effort put in there, and I appreciated that. You know, I appreciated that.
So you're saying Solar outplayed Prince in the coffee celebration?
Yes, yeah. In the coffee meta celebration, right now, Solar is leading the charge by far. How do you beat that?
I mean, the Oreo dunking was pretty good. I think. I want to see someone go to the effort of getting some actual coffee beans and then crushing them.
Oh my god. That would be insane. I was gonna say, mate, what if we double fist? What if we double fist some coffee, and you know, we come at it from 2 angles, you know? What if we
Yeah.
don't even drink the
You
coffee?
like-
What if we like
Just pour it on the ground.
just pour it on the
Pour one
ground, mate. Just pour one out. Pour one out for coffee. Oh my god.
Pour one out for the homies. This is for the ones that didn't chew her coffee on the
And then
ground.
afterwards, we need like an update on Twitter or photos of you having to clean it up because there's coffee all over the floor.
Just like I won't be playing next week because I poured coffee on my keyboard.
But like the commitment to the meme, that would make it worth it. That'd be amazing.
Maybe. Maybe. You know what? If I ever chew her coffee, I will pour coffee in my keyboard.
I will. It doesn't have to be the keyboard.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. It doesn't matter.
What do you mean? Hey, TVT is unwinnable, Poppy. You can do it. You can do it. But with that, a very strong start here for Team GP with a 2-0 over Coffee. And this is a little bit dangerous because I feel like looking at the rosters, Coffee may have had the best chance to cause a little bit of an upset, or maybe not so much, and take at least a game from Prince here. So doesn't quite bode well for the rest of the team.
Yeah, I think I could see MacSed versus Cham going either way, but XY versus Nightmare is going to be a little bit of a tough matchup. XY for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll see how the rest of the matches play out. Hopefully the rest of the IG players are undeterred as we're getting ready for this. And something that I was going to point out, which is pretty sick. I don't know if you noticed, but this is a new picture for MacSed.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have the same pose.
He doesn't have the same pose, but he's rocking a new IG like tracksuit jacket, which honestly looks pretty sick. Like it looks pretty good. Look at it.
Yeah, it's cool. It's like a bomber jacket kind of.
Yeah.
It could be like, I don't know. It kind of makes me think of like there could be a StarCraft anime where they all wear the same like tracksuit.
I mean, that used to be
they do it at a high school.
that used to be a thing. That's very reminiscent of the old TL jackets that Tasia used to wear, like Tasia and Liquid Hero and all of them. God, I wish you were here during Pro League. I wish you watched Pro League, Poppy.
I wish I was too. I'd be cracked by now.
You'd be cracked, Poppy. But speaking of cracked, Max said he's going to be going up against El Chamaco himself with a lovely 69 total score.
Very nice. And MacSed not quite getting that high a nod from the SC boy hexagon makers. They do rate Cham quite highly.
Yeah, Cham, oh my god, he's very well rounded here. I would give him a little bit more strategy, I think. Like, Cham is one of those Zerg players that can be really unorthodox with his compositions and with his units of choice. We both casted Dark go like Swarm Host against Terran the other day during ESL Asia, if you recall. And like Cham is another one who would do something like that as well. Or it wasn't against Terran, it was against Protoss, I believe. But yeah, like he can get pretty wild.
Yeah, he likes his mutas, likes his Swarm Hosts, likes his Roaches, likes to play those slightly lower eco styles. It's full NA StarCraft, and we love it.
Like, you're trying your best not to say, but he likes to ape, Poppy. He likes to...
It's how you win.
It is.
That's what Dark said.
That's what Dark said. Oh my god. So yeah, he's kind of cut from the same cloth of Dark. So we'll see if he can find some success here as he goes up against MacSed. You know, not definitely a player, a pretty high caliber player, as you were saying. A little bit underrated, but very powerful in his own right.
Yeah, and we do have our first map on Moondance, which can be a little bit of a rough map to go up against Protoss specifically on, just because they get that safe third back base. And they can go for some more cheeky, typically 2-base plays where you would have trouble taking your third normally. But obviously it's a lot safer on this map. Very safe to grab 5 bases as well. So Cham a little bit up against it here, but considering he is a more aggressive player, I think the short rush distance should help him out as well.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. It's like one of those situations where, sure, the Protoss can expand faster and have a safer third. But it's like, man, who cares about your third base when we're going for a 2-base all-in? So yeah, I definitely see a lot of opportunities here for Cham when it comes to even Queen walks. Bring that back, because the map is so small and the rush distance is as short as it ever can be in this map pool. There's definitely kind of different ways that Cham can approach this.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be down for a hatch cancel Queen walk.
Oh my god, let's go, Papi, let's go. Again, we don't quite know what map 2 is going to be yet. It is going to be, of course, loser's pick, so we'll see where we end up with that. But yeah, before that happens, looks like we're still getting ready for our first game. Cham is red, right? I don't.
Yeah, he's a big one.
Okay.
Yeah. He's more well endowed.
He is quite big. He is. I can confirm.
Wait, what?
What?
Oh. If you must.
Or you. Is it all or four? What is it? I don't even know. What does he say?
No, you're right. For
Okay.
you.
For you.
Like, you're a big guy. For you.
Oh, God. There you go. So it actually made sense what I said.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
It's a rare feat. Meanwhile, we do have in the chat Phoenix with the 36-month subscription. That's, I'm not that good at math, but I think that's 3 years.
That is at least 3 years. Oh my god. Thank you so much, Phoenix Quack. Thank you so much for the support. Phoenix is one of the OGs. He's been here from basically the beginning. Phoenix is a little bit special because even though he was here from basically the beginning, he actually didn't come from Crank's stream, from Crank's original viewer base.
Where did he come from?
He just came.
Where did he go?
He just showed up. It's crazy.
But we have the game here, and spawning in the top left-hand corner for Team IG. It is MacSed.
Oh, and in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Mexican Zerg player representing Team GP. It is Cham.
See MacSed sending out the very early probe, as is customary.
Yes,
getting that block off on that natural, but...
Ooh.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Cham going for a 14 hatch, not your typical 16 hatch. So even though the probe wasn't late by any means, Cham went for a very early hatchery to avoid any of that nonsense.
I've never seen this before. I didn't even know this was a thing, to be honest.
I didn't know it was possible. How did he have so many minerals? What happened? Why doesn't everyone do this? Oh my god.
It has to put you back a fair bit, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I think it forces you to bank up some extra larva to be a little bit inefficient because you do actually skip your first overlord to bank up and actually get that hatchery. So there's a little bit of a give and take. And I guess Cham, at least maybe on this map, thinks it's worth it to not be forced to take a more exposed base, especially on a small map like this.
Yeah, but MacSed is just going to be hanging around, just wants to see when that gas gets taken, wants to see if any lings are made nice and early. But we do see, apart from that very early base, it is going to be a pretty standard build coming out from Cham. Meanwhile, for MacSed, also seeing everything pretty standard for now. We'll just have to wait and see where he's going to diverge. I think from the games that I've watched of him, he does play more towards a standard style. I don't think I remember seeing him do anything that I thought of as crazy stylistic.
Yeah, I tend to agree, especially in this matchup. Typically, what is a little bit different about MacSed is usually his unit compositions, not so much early aggression or early timing attacks. He does kind of lend towards a certain style. We have seen him play Skytoss before. I actually haven't seen him go for that hero style too often, so I'm curious to see if he whips that out here.
Yeah, so we just see a Stargate getting started up, so we are on track to go for those oracles at least. And yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised to see that. Maybe also some kind of all-in. We have been seeing some players use the standard hero opening as a setup to go into some kind of Blink Stalker all-in, and something MaxPax actually has been doing quite a lot lately.
Yeah, we got Blink Stalker all-ins. We can even try to hide the tech, and instead of going for Blink, we go for a charge instead for some kind of charge-based Immortal or even Void Ray all-in. So we'll see what that first unit is going to be. Meanwhile, across the map, again, everything's looking quite standard. We got our third base from Cham, we got our drones, we got our queens. We have an Overlord outside the natural, so it's going to be a little bit here before Cham can really sneak in to get a scatter.
Yeah, for sure. So everything looking very standard so far. We've got that Oracle being credited out. We've got that little Overlord hanging around, seeing what he can see. Doesn't really care that there's no pillar. He's just going to hang out there anyway.
There's no pillar, Papi. What can we do? What can we do? But at least the Overlord is, checking and getting eyes on the natural wall so it can see when the Adepts do move out. Meanwhile, we have our first Oracle will reveal itself, but we have something very different as a follow-up.
Yeah, MacSed actually going into Phoenix behind this, and this is very unusual. This is not really something that I see that often. Usually when someone goes to Phoenix, it's out of 2 Stargaters, a response to Mutas, or it's Roddy. I haven't really seen too much else.
Yeah, Patty Mac, I think Goblin's done it before as well, but he has to because he gets paid by Roddy. But this is what I was really curious about, is whether or not there would be another Phoenix behind this. So the Phoenix is going to be able to clear up this Overlord. We have a different tech path behind this, and I believe Cham's Overlord will die before he sees that. It does go down, does supply block him a little bit, and I believe he's a little bit in the dark when it comes to what comes next.
Yeah, a bit of a sneaky build coming out from MacSed is just going to be making this one Phoenix, sending that out to get a bit more scouting, start to harass those Overlords, check on the bases of Cham. We'll be seeing that Cham is looking to take this fourth as well, so some very vital scouting coming out as he goes straight into charge off this, and I think he will be looking to maybe go for a bit of a charge Archon timing.
Yeah, definitely. And if Cham isn't ready for this, this could be devastating. Thankfully, he is going for a Baneling Nest. He's going for +1 melee, which is pretty standard against that hero style, which he's prepared for. But the Banelings will give him a little bit more versatility and an answer to those charge lots.
Yeah, and he's throwing down a lot of gateways here. There's that Twilight Archives coming up, so he will have Archons when that finishes up. And yeah, this is kind of interesting for me because I haven't seen that much of his ZVP, but I know that MacSed likes to play charge first against Terran as well, so definitely going for a very aggressive sort of 3-base style here.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit concerned for MacSed just because I don't believe we don't have a shield battery here at the third base, so immediately Cham, he does recognize that, he does dive on top and cancel the first shield battery. Didn't commit too much with these lings, but here we go, 20 more lings are coming in behind this. There's no shield battery at the natural either, so MacSed cutting a couple of corners.
Yeah, and I believe that Cham, with this little bit of aggression, will be scouting out the units that MacSed's making, and he's going to be a little bit wary of the fact that MacSed is warping in these Zealots, but looks like instead just going for a big Bane bust here, and there's no Stalker in the wall. These are going to get a lot of damage.
Yeah, the wall is no longer a wall. The sentry's going to go down the force field a little bit misplaced, force a recall here in towards the natural, but this has already done so much damage and is going to get even more.
Yeah, Cham having to be very careful with his micro here just because those Archons are there. Does get most of these lings out. He's going to be jumping back into the main to start to harass these probes. But all in all, MacSed has done decently with his crisis management. But Cham is everywhere with these lings.
He is everywhere, but we do have a shield battery this time here at the third base. The lings in the main base are going to get cleaned up as well. So this Ling Bane kind of counterattack didn't really deal too much damage, but it did buy time for Cham. It did he has recognized what exactly is coming his way, and he can respond. He's actually going for more counterattacks.
I love how I'm just like, oh no, there's lings in the third, and you're like, don't worry, there's a shield battery.
It literally did nothing, but you know what? This time the lings are back, and the shield battery doesn't have energy, Papi. Oh my god, MacSed is not back. He's committed to the attack.
Yeah, MacSed wants to get a little bit of his own damage across the map, and he'll be jumping straight on top of these Queens. His Zealots are going to clean those up very quickly. There is not that many lings to speak of at all, having committed so many across the map, and MacSed has found a really nice timing to get in here with his War Prism.
Yeah, he really has. The charge lots are getting out of control here in the main base. I do think the Cham was a little bit too greedy. GG gets called, and MacSed, oh my god!
Let's go. A little bit of a cheeky chuckle points to the brain.
Yeah.
He's got the Protoss brain.
He's got the bigger brain, Papi. He's got the shield battery. As he
like,
takes the first
I made a shield battery. Think about it.
Think about it, Puffy. Yeah. I do think I want to praise Cham a little bit there that game because I do really love his Ling Bane aggression. I do think it was the right call. But if you notice, he was also taking up into a Hydra Den, and I think that was a little bit of a mistake there, committing into Ling Bane Hydra, knowing he was going up against Archons and Charge Lots.
Yeah, exactly. And going for that Ling Bane aggression, it can be fine when you're going against more of a standard play, because it's when you have all that aggression, you can be a little bit greedy behind it just because you know that you're going to be keeping your opponent at home. But with MacSed going into a fairly short-term army composition with the charge lots, he really does need to eventually get across the map and get his own counter damage. So I think it was a little bit greedy of Cham to be losing all that army, going for probe damage, and then still transition behind that.
Yeah, exactly. He kind of had to respect what MacSed was doing a little bit more. I think he assumed that MacSed was... I don't think he assumed that MacSed was going to focus on his economy. I think he probably assumed that MacSed was going to turn around with his War Prism and deal with the Ling Bane, right? I think he thought that all this aggression would force MacSed to stay at home. Unfortunately, didn't quite work out that way, and MacSed does take that first game.
Yeah, but have a look at this. Really interesting. We're talking about whether Moondance might be a good map for the Protoss, and talking about how it was a little bit short, a little bit more safe defending the bases. But Cham, I think he likes the smaller maps because he's picked Waterfall as the next map.
Interesting decision here from Cham, and I think this does kind of again lean towards what we were saying earlier, how he is a much more aggressive player in general, and maybe because of that he wants to be on these smaller maps. He wants to be in the face of the Protoss. Will it bite him later on though? You know, can he overcome the brain of the Protoss?
Yeah, I am expecting from Cham roaches. No brain, just roaches.
Oh my god, look, roaches have brains too, okay? They have brains too, Copium.
They have brains in the same way that like jellyfish have. They just kind of go.
Hashtag roach lives matter, okay? Oh my god, but I agree. I think we're going to be seeing some kind of timing. I think a roach timing would make a lot of sense on this map. Maybe even a queen walk as well alongside it. We'll see. As in the bottom left-hand corner of Waterfall, representing IG, it's MacSed.
And in the top right-hand corner of the map, it is representing Team GP, Cham. Did you ever queen walk when it was meta? I feel like I didn't really see you do it that much.
No. I don't make queens. I didn't make them when they were good, and I'm not making them when they're bad. You're like, mate, they're never bad. My god. I'm trying to learn to make queens, okay?
Okay.
Oh my god. Speaking of, I don't know if you noticed, but once again, Cham did go for that 14 hatch.
Yeah, so especially on this smaller map, I do vaguely remember seeing people go for like 15 hatches to try to beat the block, but I think considering that 14 hatch only just got down, I don't know if that would have worked.
Yeah, it's interesting how kind of the meta is shifting, or at least, you know, Cham does kind of enjoy this opener instead on these smaller maps. At least he's able to get his natural up and running, but where does he go from here? Is he going to go for that +1 melee Ling Bane style again? Well, we're going to see them roaches.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning away from roaches now because I think taking that forward third isn't actually that bad at all if you're going for roaches, especially if you're going for more of like a queen walk strategy. It can get your creep a little bit further ahead.
Yeah. It can be a little bit of a blessing in disguise, and, you know, maybe lure your opponent into a false sense of security, like, oh no, you blocked my natural. Oh, I have to put it down more forward instead. Oh no,
I'm gonna block your natural with my units.
Exactly. So yeah, I tend to agree here. I also don't believe that he's gonna go for Roach Warren, but, you know, time will tell.
Wait, time's here?
Oh, he's playing against us.
He's gonna tell us what will happen.
Yeah.
I started a joke and I can't get out of it.
What have I done? What have I said?
Why did I say it?
Why did I say it?
Why did I speak? As we do see the Stargate coming out once again, we're seeing some extra depths coming out from MacSed. Isn't going to opt to send those across the map for any harass or anything like that, but Cham not going for any Lingbane all-ins or anything like that either, so both these players kind of canceling each other out with the passivity.
Yeah, they do end up cancel each other out. We're just droning, we're just focusing on our economy, but this time MacSed is not wasting any time with his Oracle. He's going straight up for a Phoenix first.
Yeah, this is a really interesting play that he prefers his Phoenix over, say, a Void Ray just for clearing out this Overlord. Not something that I see too often, but he did use that quite effectively in that last game to get some extra scouting and just be a nuisance, kind of harassing those Overlords, throwing off those attack warnings.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely a stylistic choice. I do think that maybe it's a little bit of mind games as well, because it's so unusual. You get into the mind of your opponent a little bit. Like, what if he does throw down a second Stargate and start just massing up Phoenixes? Like that's going to be in the back of your mind a little bit as well. So yeah, interesting choice from MacSed.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I wonder if he does sometimes just keep making Phoenix. It seems like he just likes it because it's a bit faster than a Void Ray, but yeah, not sure.
Yeah. We'll see as we learn a little bit more about our lovely players here. Meanwhile, Twilight Council is going to be thrown down behind this. No Forge. Oh, no, there it is. The Forge is thrown down as well. In the previous game, we did see Charge and +1. We'll see if he goes for Blink and +1 instead, as he has taken, I believe, 3 of his gases. I think he hasn't taken his 4th yet. Meanwhile, the Oracle sips into the main.
Yeah, that's right. We do see the Robo going down once again, so almost exactly the same build as the last game coming out from MacSed. Seems to have his way that he likes to open, and he will be sticking to that. It's nice and safe with the Phoenix scouting with that extra Oracle as well, so I can understand why he likes this build. As we see those extra gateways going down, we see the Adept keeping that safe, and once again we do see Charge being started up, so this just seems to be how MacSed likes to open his games.
Yeah, it just seems to be his go-to bread and butter. And now Cham can respond to this. He's already got a little bit of experience against this build. Once again, he's going for plus on melee. We have a Baneling Nest. Lings are going to be flooding across the map to apply a little bit of pressure to this third base. And it's going to be on MacSed to make sure things don't get out of control and make sure he isn't forced to cancel or lose anything needlessly.
Yeah, we see once again, MacSed hasn't built a shield battery at his third base yet. He's just going to be walking around with his Oracle. Nice trigger discipline, not popping the Pulsar beam on that just yet. Just going to be keeping an eye on those Lings, kind of being the Overwatch.
2?
No.
My brain just went blank and I just thought of Overwatch 2.
We never go that blank.
But yeah. For the time being, Cham actually has quite a large force of Lings on the left-hand side as well as in between his bases here. Because of this, of course, his drone count has suffered as a result. Roach Warren has finished up, mate. Roaches are on the way.
Yeah, so we are going to be seeing another timing coming out from Cham, maybe looking to be a little bit more safe against the counter-attack of MacSed now that he's seen how he likes to play. It does seem like MacSed does like to use this opener just to be a little bit more flexible, gives him the opportunity to both be defensive with those extra zealots and also look for a bit of his own counter timing, but Cham is adjusting really well to this.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to phrase it, because again, he has recognized that this is going to be the same build. He recognizes the value in Roaches defensively as well. Not just Roaches, but also Ravagers, but he has to be a little bit careful here. He needs a little bit more of a buffer of those Banelings to make sure the Roaches don't go down to the Zealots. At the same time, he goes for a Ling run by.
Yeah, really nice run by here. We'll be jumping straight onto that shield battery first. The overcharge is wasted there. That means this High Templar is going to be going down. The probes will be going down as well. The Oracle forced to use the Pulsar Beam, but is not able to save these probes. Yeah, we do see Robo Bay being started up. We see that extra Robo facility as well, so we'll be able to start pumping out those double Colossus or double Disruptors, whichever he prefers. Probably Disruptors for the Roaches.
Is the Bay going to be a thing now? Is
yeah.
it? Our Bay is back, Papi. Let's go.
I'll never forget Bay.
Never forget the Bay. As we have Chargelets warping into the main base at the same time, Chargelets hitting the third as well. Roaches have been split up, but it looks like it may not be enough to hold on to that hatchery.
Yeah, that last transfer is just not getting there in time, but at the same time, MacSed lost a lot of zealots in that attack. I think he might have lost a little bit too many, and Cham, he can clean up these last few zealots and just send everything across the map now, and things are going to look very dicey for MacSed trying to deal with this, as he's got no fourth behind this either.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't have a fourth base. On top of that, Cham did keep the majority of his drones alive. He just rotated over towards his fourth instead, and now it is go time. Now it's time to go for a counterattack. Cham basically maxed out.
Yeah, we've got a massive attack coming in through here. A lot of these roaches gearing up. Does spot that disruptor before we can get that surprise Nova off, so that does take out the surprise tech factor. There are a few more disruptors coming down, but the Lings have kind of sectioned those off, and Cham finding a very nice position to get in on this Nexus.
Oh, exactly. The mass roach is just a little bit too much here. 55 drones, nothing but roaches is all you need. A Nova's going to go off, and it's going to get an amazing connection, but even one Nova, it's not going to be enough, Papi.
Oh, there goes another one. Those were huge Novas, but MacSed he just doesn't have the supply to capitalize.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you need one, sometimes you need two, sometimes you need more than that. Sometimes you need more of an economy as well. As the third base is going to go down. Cham has broken the back of MacSed. The natural, he still has two disruptors actually waiting on top of the ramp. So pushing up this ramp is going to be a little bit dicey here. But really, Cham, all he has to do is contain his opponent to two bases.
Yeah, nice dodge coming out there from Cham, just sending a few roaches ahead, and does split those roaches as well. So just going to be losing one link to the disruptor. At the same time with his Oracle kind of poking every little link. It kind of looks like he's counting sheep.
No, don't count the sheep. I need you awake, Papi. I need you awake.
1 link, 2 link, 3 link, 4 link.
Let the sweet embrace of veg take me.
Yeah.
Oh god. At the same time, we have a Prism sneaking in towards the third base. He's also doing a great job at distracting Cham, forcing attention back at home. But right now, the real thing that MacSed needs is a third.
Yeah, the real thing he needs is a fourth and a fifth, honestly. He's so far behind economically, and we see that Cham, you were talking about it before, his stylistic play is kind of similar to Dark in that way. He's actually going for Tunneling Claws and Burrow now.
Yeah, just double down on the Mass Roach Ravager, and it makes sense, especially because right now MacSed's his Robos, they're just pumping out non-stop units. He has to, right? If he wants to hold on, if he wants to survive, if he wants to win this game, yeah, the likelihood of him having detection in position is not very high.
It's funny, I feel like there's two types of Zergs in this position. There's the kind of Serral camp where it's I'm just going to get further and further ahead, or there's the Dark or Cham camp where it's like, how do I kill you? How do I get you to leave the game?
How do I get you out, Papi? Aye. That is the question here, because Cham, he has split up his roaches. He has Burrow. He has Tunneling Claws. He's ready to shark in. Oh, I believe he may have just revealed his Burrow to that Oracle. I don't know if MacSed was paying attention. Maybe not, as Cham is getting ready to sneak in towards the natural.
Yeah, I mean, you should be able to see the spines on these roaches, but it looks like that was just scouting ahead, maybe trying to find where the disruptors were, and this two-prong attack is going to be so difficult for MacSed to deal with. He just doesn't have the army supply that he needs.
Yeah, he just doesn't have the numbers, Papi. The roaches are going to be slipping in towards the natural base. He doesn't get, he just burrows in the face of his opponent. Aye. We do have a cannon, but it's at the third base, not at the natural. I don't know where it is. Meanwhile, decent Novas are going to be going off, but again, there's just so much roaches.
Yeah, there are so many roaches here. They're really nicely pre-spread as well. The shield battery are going to be doing a lot of work. The cannon in the main as well, so not the most efficient fights coming out from Cham, but they really don't have to be at this point. He's just swarming with these Lings. Yeah,
we don't need to be efficient, Papi. We just need to be Zerg, as the swarm is here. Disruptors are being taken out one after the other. I believe we just reset the disruptor count. MacSed is going to force back the main army, so again, he's fighting his heart out right now, but there's actually still something in the main base. Things are still flashing. Yeah, oh my god, still a lot of roaches in the main.
Yeah, that's a lot of roaches. They can start to go after these pylons. They're going to be taking down the robotics bay as well, so there's going to be no disruptors allowed. Bay's gone.
The bay is gone. No. Come back to us, Poppy. We can change. Oh god. As Cham, he's just hammering down that R key, just still making nothing but roaches. MacSed is gonna try one final stand at his third. Ooh, even going for a counterattack, but Cham's everywhere.
The thing I'm worried about is what if RoboCop goes rogue because we killed RoboBear.
Are you proud of that? Are you?
Yeah.
That's good. I like that. But yeah, GG.
Yeah, GG is called MacSed with a little bit of a chuckle there as well, Cham. Stoic as always.
Oh, exactly, man. He just wants to go back to bed. GG, well played. MacSed adapting to the style, to the composition after game one very well. Recognizing, what was I missing against Charged Archon? He didn't even make Ravagers that game. Bear that in mind. Roach, man. The Roach.
Yeah, taking up further didn't really serve him that well in the game before, so decided to just stay on Roaches, realizing that MacSed plays a style that doesn't have that much longevity, and in this game just looked in complete control from start to finish. MacSed just hanging on, trying to get that point back for his team, but looked pretty over when that third went down.
Yeah, exactly. It's so difficult to recover from that position, and because the map is so small, whoever has a little bit of momentum, it's so difficult to get that momentum back from your opponent. They're just in your face, constantly just rallying units across the map, just not allowing you to breathe.
Yeah, exactly. So we are seeing Team GP go up 3-1 against Invictus Gaming. So XY has a tall task ahead of him. He's going to have to 2-0 Nightmare to get them to the ace match.
Oh, well, at least Cham made it a possibility, right? I almost said possibility of reality, and I'm like, whoa. But you know, we have a chance here if we are IG. So XY, it's a tall ask, but mate, he can do it, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, XY, especially in TVP, he's got some pretty cheeky builds. He's got some nice 1-2 base all-ins. And Nightmare, a very aggressive player in his own right. So sometimes when these all-ins smash into each other, they can produce some pretty unexpected results.
Definitely, and especially when we're talking about a player, not just a player, a philosopher. Okay, yes. we got the man himself, the man behind not the brain, but the mental of a champion.
The mindset of the king.
The mindset of the king, Poppy. He has what it takes up here, but does he have what it takes?
I was wondering where you were going with that.
Down here, the hands, Poppy.
Down here.
Down here, the hands. That's what I meant. That's what I was going for. I didn't realize what I was saying until it was too late.
Yeah. You gotta be careful what you say when you're not wearing pants.
It's true. It's very true. How did you know? Oh my god.
I'm closer than you think.
Oh no. But yes, of course, we are getting ready for our potentially final best of 2 of this series, XY versus Nightmare. Again, Nightmare is a little bit more renowned in the scene. You know, he's a GSL caliber player, not the highest profile Protoss, but a solid Protoss nonetheless. So, yeah, Team GP, they've got a pretty strong, well-rounded team.
Yeah, 100%. They didn't even have to use Ryung. They're like, Ryung, take a rest, man. We got this.
Rest up, Papi, rest up. And you know, the Terran players, they need their rest. You know, their wrists, they can't take just playing day after day after day. It's difficult for whoever does that, which is why we got to give a massive shout out to the Shaft himself, because he's able to power through.
Vindicta, by the way.
I'm not talking about someone's random shaft. I'm not talking about
the shaft.
The shaft. Yes.
Yeah, we will be seeing him later on tonight as CranKy Ducklings will be playing in the next matchup. But here we have the hexagons for the players.
Yes, exactly. With the 10 mindset. How does a madman like XY have a 10 in mindset, you might ask? Well, again, because this man has put a lot of thought, put a lot of brain power into how to deconstruct and how to oversee not just StarCraft, but the world.
The world through the eyes of the StarCraft player. But here we do have the matchup. We do see him dwarfing Nightmare in the mindset.
Oh, exactly. He won't see
micro.
what... He doesn't have any offense, though. He's just going to be stuck at home.
He
Or
can't
any
leave.
micro. I keep forgetting, and I keep being surprised that they just completely screw XY over when it comes to offense and micro. They're like, nah, mate, he's got none. It's
just a flat line on the side. They just squished it in.
Oh my
like,
God.
if we're going to give him 10 in mindset, we've just got to wreck him everywhere else.
Yeah, you got to balance it out. You know, it's like a D&D character. You know, you've got a certain amount of points to allocate, and if you're like 18 in strength, you're like -10 in like intellect.
Fair enough. I'll take your word for it. As here we have spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of the map for IG. This is XY.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Cosmic Sapphire, we have representing Team GB, Nightmare.
Sounds like I'm reading out a password for IGXY. Beep boop.
Oh, oh, wow! Did you see that?
What?
We actually have a new observer today.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and I did notice that the observing was a little bit different. Not gonna lie.
You're gonna say better. You savage.
Oh no, I was gonna say a little bit different. I was gonna say it's different.
Different.
Yeah. Different doesn't have to be worse or better. It's just different.
Okay.
Yeah,
just different.
Just built different. But yeah, shout out to our observer for the day, Lucky Day. Same.
It's our lucky day.
It's our lucky day.
As we always see, I like what Nightmare's wearing. Is that like a cravat almost?
Oh, it's like
the chef thing.
What?
You know, like the chef necktie that they have.
No, it's like a turtleneck, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is, but I want it to be a cravat.
I want him to be the chef.
The Aya chef.
I want him to cook his opponents or be cooked.
Oh, be cooked.
Yeah.
Is that a chef thing to do?
No, like, look, someone's gonna be cooked by the end of this game, okay?
Yeah, I'm already cooked.
I'm already cooked. Oh my God!
He dodges the logos.
Oh, they both do. Look at that.
So respectful. Don't want to get their muddy feet on there.
Yeah. You don't want to stand on your TGI Friday gamer chairs.
Absolutely not. I guess. But I'm sure they could take it. Powerful.
Oh yeah. No, they'll take your feet off.
Whoa.
They'll take more than your shoes, papi. They'll
Insane.
take everything. just like my bae.
Oh no.
She took it all.
Oh, I see. Sorry to hear that.
Speaking of taking it all, we do see that XY going for a proxy starport out there in the top right-hand corner of the map.
He's taking all the MMRs. Does look like he's going to be going for a bit of a proxy Hellion drop. This is a build that's been very popular with players like Clem, the players that like to be a bit more multitask and aggression orientated. Can be a little bit of a coin flip, but there are some certain builds that it can get you very far ahead. He's going to be hiding those Hellions as well. The Adept, of course, going to scout that there is a reactor on the factory, so that does limit the options for the Terran. And I do see that Nightmare did go for a Stargate, is making those Phoenix. That is going to be really useful in defending this.
Yeah, exactly. You were talking about how like this is a little bit coin flippy and what it does work against and what it doesn't. And Nightmare, he has completely skipped Oracle production. He went straight into those Phoenixes. He's staying at home. He got a little bit of scouting information, but not too much. And this is definitely a way to not just shut down the drop, but also to be able to CC and shut down those Hellions before they get out of control.
Yeah, exactly. I am a little bit concerned for Nightmare, though. He hasn't made any shield batteries. So usually the way that these Phoenix work really well in defending this is once you take away the one-shot potential by lifting up some of these Hellions, they really can't get anything done because of the battery. But without a battery here, even if a few Hellions go down, there's still the potential for damage.
Definitely, and you know what? The shield battery just only now starts. It's not going to be ready in time for the Hellions. I don't even know if it's in the main base. It happens to be there, but the Hellions, they do rock in.
Yeah, we do see that first volley going down. There's a lot of Hellions being picked up. They will be going down, but as we were saying, the shots are being lined up. So 6 Hellions, six probes going down, and we just missed that last pickup. Oh, we're going to see a lot of probes going down because of that. 2 extra probes already.
Oh my god, the Hellion volleys are insane. The units finally rock up, but 9 probes go down.
Yeah, just a little bit of miscontrol coming out from Nightmare and 3 extra probes going down. So suddenly with 9 probes overall going down, this isn't the best case scenario for XY, but it doesn't put him that far behind either.
Yeah, exactly. Again, the mind is strong in this one, and with the bigger mind, he's able to overcome the better units. Yeah, that's honestly really great economic damage. Obviously, Nightmare was a little bit more concerned with hunting down that drop more than anything else. But now here we have a little bit of counter damage. 3 SCVs are going to be going down.
Yeah, and we do see a rather interesting stylistic move coming out from XY. He's prioritizing these Vikings very heavily. These are very, very early Vikings, and we're seeing tanks coming out as well. I think he might be gearing up to go for some kind of tank Viking push, maybe trying to blind counter a Phoenix Colossus style.
Oh, yeah, and we'll see if he's going to be able to pull this off. There we go. The Robotics Bay is on the way, so Phoenix Colossus is definitely what Nightmare wants to transition into. It's going to take a while for those Colossi to come out, so there is going to be a window here available for XY.
Yeah, that's right. Meanwhile, we just said Stim getting started up. We see +1 as well. So XY are going to be looking to hit a timing in about 2 minutes from now. As we do see there's a Depths running in. They're going to be jumping on top of the SCVs and getting a lot of damage.
Oh, God, a lot of SCVs are going to be going down. Unfortunately, the tank not really going to be able to help out here. The Vikings forced to land. There we go. 5 SCVs go down. And the Phoenixes, they're just not stopping.
Yeah, they dive in once again, get 1 or 2 more SCVs, do delay that Rax once more, and XY finds himself in a pretty uncomfortable position and losing that small lead that he made for himself in the early game.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Not just that, but also it's important to take note that Nightmare was able to get a full scout of the main base. He did recognize that Viking production had commenced, so because of that, I'm sure he's going to be that much more careful. We already have a shield battery at the natural base. I wouldn't be surprised if he does set up defensively at the 3rd as well, just to, again, be that extra careful with his Colossi.
Yeah, that's right. Meanwhile, we see XY just going up into that 5 racks production. He's going to be trying to land his 3rd now. So with those extra tanks coming out, does look like he's going to be looking towards more of a defensive game.
Yeah, exactly. It's quite possible that he has kind of changed his overall game plan upon losing so many of his workers, recognizing that a lot of the sting had been taken out of his punch. So instead, going to be trying to take this 3rd base. Meanwhile, Phoenixes, they get a couple of these Marines, even almost get a Viking.
Yeah, a lot of damage going down those Vikings, but they can be repaired back up. These Phoenix, meanwhile, are being such a nuisance here for XY.
Yeah, exactly. He's having a hard time keeping up with these Phoenixes, and once again, they dive in and they get both Vikings.
Yeah, diving straight back in, they're getting both Vikings. That Cyclone looking rather exposed there as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely a possibility for that Cyclone to go down. I believe it was a 2-for-1 trade. I think the Cyclone was able to get a kill on one of those Phoenixes, so at least he did fight back a little bit there. But again, because of everything that's been happening, because of the death of a lot of the Marines and a lot of the overall army of XY, he's going to be stuck at home for quite some time.
Yeah, he is going into that turtle shell, getting those extra tanks, just going to be camping it up on that 3rd. But at the same time, having a look at the worker situation, this is pretty nice for the Terran. You usually expect the Protoss to be a little bit further ahead, maybe 10 or so probes ahead at this point in the game, and only being a few workers behind is going to be quite nice for XY here.
Yeah, Nightmare has opted actually not to, or he's actually stopped worker production. He's not oversaturating, he's not looking to Maynard here, it seems. So because of that, he is allowing XY to catch up.
Yeah, XY with a pretty massive supply block there, though. We saw six depots going down at once. The a laser depots, if you will.
I really what we want to be seeing here is the fourth base is being taken by Nightmare. XY trying to get a little bit of map control. Nightmare likewise going to be pushing out with his Colossi to regain that Zonaga tower. Oh god, XY has to be careful not to lose too much here.
Yeah, this is a terrifying army coming out from Nightmare. Very high quality army with all those Colossus, with the Archons as well. If he can start to get that Zealot count up a little bit higher, it can do wonders against the tanks. But XY, he's really digging in here.
Yeah, exactly. The tent has been pitched, and it has been pitched high, Papi, as he just doesn't stop this tank production. Marines on the way as well. Yeah, and I'm kind of curious as to where we go from here. I imagine we're gonna be seeing I imagine we're gonna be seeing some Liberators shortly as well. I don't imagine Nightmare is gonna be wanting to push into this kind of defensive position.
Yeah, but at the same time for XY, this is a bit more of a short-term army. We don't see any 2-2 being started up. We don't see any ghosts on the way either. So he's going to have to do something with this army once he gets maxed out. And it's a pretty hard army to push into, the Colossus Phoenix.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Meanwhile, Zealot in the main base and the Natural, I believe one tank is going to be going down here. So Nightmare getting a lot of value here with only pure minerals. And this is going to force a reaction out of XY.
Yeah, XY is not quite in position for this. He's going to be losing a lot of SCVs to these Zealots, and really it's not a big deal for Nightmare to just trade minerals here for the workers, and they're going to have to be rebuilt for XY unless he just wants to go for a massive all-in off 3 bases.
Yeah, and XY, like, this just slows him down. There was a period where he was up, what, like 40 supply, but Nightmare was able to buy a little bit of time there to, again, just make more Colossi, make more Disruptors, set up defensively back at home. He doesn't quite have vision in the middle of the map, though, so he doesn't quite know where the army of XY is.
Yeah, great scan coming out from XY. Does locate the army of Nightmare. He's going to be starting to push out here, and this is a massive timing that he's got. There is no 2-2 on the way. There is no ghosts on the way. He is going completely all in right now, right here.
Yeah, Giga all in, Papi. It looked like Nightmare was going to go across the map and hit the 3rd base, but no, he's forced to respond here to the tanks of XY. He is sieged up. He is threatening the 4th base, but he needs to kill more than just the 4th. At the same time, Zealot Rambai at his 3rd.
Yeah, Zealot Rambai is really going to force him to go a little bit more aggressively into this position. Does put him on a timer here, so we do see XY is starting to poke forward, but he doesn't want to be running in with all his bio straight into these Colossus.
Yeah, exactly. He has to be so careful, especially pushing into Disruptors as well. Bear that in mind. We have 2 Robos, double Disruptor production. Nightmare is supply blocked, though, and we don't have any pylons on the way. Just now throwing them down.
Yeah, and XY, he can just rotate over to the other base now. That's exactly what he's going to do as we see those Zealots being pulled back. Maybe going to look for a surround here. Maybe going to look to catch the tanks unsieged. And we find XY in a little bit of an awkward position now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he did get the 4th base, but he needs to somehow push his way in even further. We'll lose a Viking for his troubles. Nightmare getting behind the army with his Phoenixes. We have the Zealots on the right-hand side as well. He's looking for that surround.
Yeah, his Phoenixes are going to be so annoying. We see XY throwing down scans, just want to keep an eye on this army. Doesn't want to get surrounded. Doesn't want to be getting caught unsieged, but it looks like Nightmare's going to pull the trigger now.
Yeah, there we go. The Phoenixes do lift up a couple of these tanks. The Phoenixes are being focused down. The Disruptor shots do not go off.
Yeah, the Disruptor's taken out by those tanks, and all these tanks are surviving the Zealot wraparound. I think XY is doing it.
Wow, he's doing it. We have a couple of DTs across the map, but this is a desperation move. XY's army is so massive right now. Doesn't he have scans, though?
Oh, these tanks are being taken down by the DTs. This is such a good move coming out from Nightmare. And I don't think XY has the scans. We see him with the Bio trying to body block these tanks. He might want to pick those up with the medevacs, but every tank goes down.
Mate, he was looking so good. And in the blink of an eye, what was that 5, 6 tanks went down to the DTs?
Yeah, every single tank going down here. We see 38 SCVs have gone down as well. Things were looking so good for XY, but those tanks, they are the backbone of his army. That's what keeps him safe against these Colossus. That's what allows him to DPS through the shield batteries, and he's in such a rough position now.
Yeah, and this doesn't happen too often, but DT's literally just won him the game, not by dealing economic damage, but by killing the army here of XY. He was up, what, 30 supply or so. He was looking so good, ready to win the game, and now everything is on fire.
Yeah, XY almost keeping his team going here in this matchup, but things are looking dire for him. As the observer has pointed out, we have 30 workers to the 70 of Nightmare. And the problem for XY here is he knows that he doesn't have the army that he needs to go right now, but he really doesn't have any other option. The longer he waits, the further Nightmare gets ahead.
Yeah, like what else can he do? Like he's trying to reestablish his third base, but more DTs are coming in, and every scan is hurting XY right now just because of how in the gutter his economy is. He's going in for one last hurrah right now, maybe hoping to catch the army off guard, but no,
Ooh.
Nightmare sees him coming.
Yeah, big stim and just doesn't find the angle there. That's really going to hurt him.
Really is another scan back at home defensively, but we got Blink on these DTs, forces the second scan out as well. He takes down both DTs, but he doesn't have any more scans. And what's he gonna do if we? Oh, he does have one scan at the third, but again, like every scan hurts, and we can just keep like sending DT after DT in. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, invisible units are so insane in these low eco situations. We do see XY does have a fourth base, does have that extra orbital, doesn't want to send that out to land it just yet because he needs those scans. He does have a few scans, but it's going to be so hard to deal with everything that's happening all at once right now.
Yeah, it really is. Third base once again is going to be forfeit. We have a couple of ghosts on the way, which will help with their EMPs, but what about these high-tech units? What about the Colossi and those disruptors?
Oh, good connections from the disruptors, and massive shot in the middle of the army.
The shots are insane, Puffy, and GG gets called. Nightmare takes game one.
GM with that Team GP. They are your winners, but things aren't over yet. Invictus Gaming can still fight for the map wins. Those map wins going to be very important, especially for these teams that are a little bit lower down on the ladder. So they're going to be fighting as hard as they can to get another win on the board. But congratulations to GP in this fixture.
Yeah, congratulations, Team GP. They played very well. They came prepared. In that game, it is a little bit bittersweet because XY was straight up winning that game. You know, the brain, the philosophical Terran player had somehow found his way through, and like it was really impressive what he was able to accomplish on 3 bases and how he was able to max out. And despite being slowed down, that didn't really slow him down enough when it came to like the harassment and the zealot run bys. But the DTs, man. Oh my god, that was as a Zerg player, that was gross, man. That was so gross.
Yeah, I think overall it was a really good plan coming out from XY. Like for an overall game plan, it just worked perfectly. He was so far ahead, but Nightmare with a little bit of a Hail Mary play there, first harassing the SEVs to spend a few extra scans there, and then kind of just gambling that XY wouldn't have that last scan to clean up with the tanks, or maybe even that he would scan and that the tanks would friendly fire each other. But yeah, that was just fantastic timing on that and a little bit of a cheeky way to steal that one back.
Yeah, I think that was like maybe the only way that Nightmare could have won that game. And you know, he saw through it all. He saw the way, the road to victory, and he was able to pull it off in the end. So very nicely done there. It can be very difficult to kind of recognize that in the middle of the game. But in the top left-hand corner of Game 2, Stargazers, we have XY.
And in the top right-hand corner of the map for Team GP, it is Nightmare. Do you think XY chose this map because he's going to do the Dolan build?
I was gonna say the same thing. Like if Dolan is the head, is the brain of Voltron, and if XY has a 10 out of 10 in mindset, there's got to be a connection there.
XY's the handbook of Voltron.
maybe, but scratch that.
Ooh.
Because even though we're kind of talking about XY and what he could be doing, Nightmare has his own plans.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a proxy gateway, so likely going to be seeing a Zealot come out first from home, followed up by 2 Stalkers from each of the gateways. This is a very aggressive build that has been a little bit more popular in the current meta. It can get a little bit dicey trying to hold this with a double gas opening. Yeah,
it really can be, and that's exactly what XY is doing. So far, things are looking up here for Nightmare. We'll see if this is going to go unscattered as, XY goes for the full wall off.
Yeah, we do see that fastball going down. Actually going to have to put a little bit more health on that. Was a little bit greedy there. And the probe actually blocking the SEV as well. So that's a pretty significant delay on his racks. That's not nothing, especially when you're defending such a tight, aggressive play coming out of the Protoss.
Hey, these probes are cracked. They're cooked, papi.
Yeah, that's a nice little body block there. XY doesn't
Yeah.
want to have any delay on his factory. He's going to be getting that one going down. But yeah, this can be significant. Like if that's 2 or 3 seconds on that Reaper, that's a few shots that you're missing out on the Zealot, and that can really add up.
Yeah, it really can. As the Zealot is now done, it's going to be moving out across the map. Cybercore does finish up, and we're going to be seeing an Adept and a Stalker, a little bit of a kitchen sink, one of each gateway unit coming out here. Meanwhile, Nightmare does keep his probe across the map as well. We'll see if he plans to do anything additionally with that probe. Oof.
Yes, Reaper is going to be running out, getting the scout, is going to be able to see that gateway, chronoing out that Stalker. And he's going to just look around a little bit more to see if there's anything else on the map, maybe that's Zealot, but there we are going to see this attack commencing here as the bunker is being started up.
Bunker is started up. We see the Stalker trying to focus down the SCV, building it at the same time. Reaper is actually going to be going across the map to try and deal some counter damage and get a scout off. Oof.
Yeah, it's so important that he gets this bunker up here. As those Marines are being started up here. A lot of SCVs going down. Nice little bit of multitask there. He's going to have the Reaper across the map doing some damage. Oh, the bunker is not finished.
The bunker's not finished.
Still here to take down this mine shot.
Yeah, the Widow Mine shot's going to be baited out by the probe. Meanwhile, the bunker barely finishes in time. At the same time, the Reaper across the map was able to get 2 probes, but only 2 probes. And that Widow Mine is going to go down.
Yeah, the mine going down. The depot is going to be going down as well, and that can be really dangerous when you have this Adept on the low ground that can start to shade in. We also see the probe is still here, so there is a possibility to throw down a pylon, even throw down some batteries if he wants to get very, very aggressive with this.
Yeah, he's got options, Papi. He does have those options. At the same time, Adept is going to tank that Widow Mine shot, dealing a lot of friendly fire to those Marines. They are 1 shot away from going down here as the Stalkers break into the main base. The add-ons are exposed. Ooh, XY supply blocked.
Yeah, he is blocked. The Reaper goes down. This reactor is going to go down as well. We see the SCV starting to be pulled as these Stalkers just wreaking havoc here.
Yeah, exactly. And this has already dealt enough damage. He's going to deal even more damage here as finally XY regains control of his own natural base. The wall is a wall, and Nightmare is forced to expand.
Yeah, this Adept shade is so annoying though. He can just keep sending that up, and XY, he realizes there is no way back into this game. Nightmare with a very quick finish.
Oh, it's a scarf.
It is.
Oh, it's not a turtleneck.
He's got the chef scarf.
He's cooked, Papi. And speaking of being cooked, GG, well played. Nightmare does take the series 2-0 in a very dominant fashion there in game number 2. But again, I still want to give a special shout out to XY because game 1 was so close. He had it. It was in his hands. It just slipped away. I hope he's not feeling too disappointed with his showing there. Like it was very impressive.
Of course he isn't feeling disappointed. He's got the king mindset.
True.
Yeah, so there we go. We are all done with that one. Team GP taking a very convincing victory over Team IG. But IG is still getting themselves on the board, not going to be clean swept. So great job coming out from the players there. And we do have our next game lined up. It's going to be CranKy Ducklings going up against one of the favorites to take down this whole team league in KaiZi Gaming.
Oh, yeah. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back in those 4 minutes with our next series.